Hello everyone, hello and welcome. Welcome to our Sciences Po live information session dedicated to the Sciences Po Undergraduate College. My name is Adrien Kennett and I serve as Information and Recruitment Manager at Sciences Po. I am truly delighted that so many of you are able to be with us today, so whichever region of the world you are connected from today, welcome to you all and thank you for being with us. We are going to be together for about 30 minutes to give you the most up-to-date information on the Sciences Po Undergraduate College and Sciences Po Undergraduate Programs of Study. My first guest in the studio by my side with me is Professor Stéphanie Balme, Dean of the Sciences Po Undergraduate College. Dean Balme, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for your invitation.
We also have three other guests with us today, obviously not in the studio, but remotely with us. Tracy, Theodore, and Albert, thank you guys for being with us. The three of you are undergraduate students and graduates from the Sciences Po Undergraduate College. We'll get back to you in just a minute. My first question goes to Dean Balme, but first off, I'd like to tell our viewers that should you have any questions at this point, you can ask your questions in the chat module of our YouTube live session. Our four guests will be more than happy to answer a few of those questions in the second part of our presentation. As I said, my first question goes to Dean Balme. Dean Balme, as a start, could you sum up in just a few words what the Sciences Po Bachelor of Arts is?
That's a challenging question. Well, it's a 3-year program at the BA level, truly international, for international and national students, focusing on social sciences, humanities primarily, and with a focus on civic engagement. That's what I would say, and it's located in many different places and nice places in France.
Now, could you tell us what are the main subjects, disciplines, and methods that are taught at the undergraduate college?
Okay, so in terms of disciplines, which is really important because we're not a comprehensive university, we're a social sciences university, and yet at the BA level we have chosen to focus on 6 key disciplines of the social sciences and humanities, which are law, economy, sociology, political science, including international relations,
history.
History, of course. History is considered as the discipline which is the most taught at the college, and political humanities, which is a combination of philosophy and history. So these are the 6 disciplines that we focus on. And in terms of methodology, I have to say, and we are truly interdisciplinary. We want not only to focus on these disciplines, but to mix them all together so that students can choose majors, for example. So in terms of methodology, students, we like students to experience different types of methodology because there is not only one good methodology to teach the students, and also we believe that it is really a skill to be able to move from one method to another one, from having a class in an amphitheater of a couple of hundreds of students to small teaching groups, and also artistic workshops, and so I would say the multi-dimension of our teaching methodology is a great combination with our idea of interdisciplinarity.
That sounds great, thank you. Now we understand Sciences Po has 7 campuses located in France. Are programs offered on those 7 campuses all the same?
Yes and no. Yes, they're the same in a way that I would say about 80% of the diploma, of the content of the teaching is exactly the same around the country, from Paris to Menton, Menton to Le Havre. But for the 6 campuses located outside of Paris, we offer to the students a geographical minor, which is comparative study minor. And therefore, there is the difference in between the different campuses lie in the particular program and the particular region that these campuses are looking at when they, address the 6 disciplines of social sciences that I mentioned earlier.
I see. Thank you very much, Dean Balme. Let's have a word with Theodore. Theodore, you are a first-year student on our Sciences Po campus in Reims. Reims, the city of kings and champagne. You are originally from the USA. Thank you so much for being with us. As we can tell from the background, you are currently on campus in Reims. Could you show us a little bit around and tell us what part of campus you are on?
Yes, my pleasure. So we're currently in the Puy de Père right now, in the oldest part of campus. Sciences Po Campus de Reims was originally founded in 1619 as a Jesuit college. Behind me you can see the historic vineyards, the 400-year-old vineyards, which still bear grapes in the correct season. Unfortunately for my grape enthusiasts, you cannot eat these because they're owned and collected by the city of Reims to create wine. On this campus we have 2 beautiful libraries and 1 cafeteria that you can indulge in between classes or studies.
That looks wonderful. Thank you, Theodore. Now, as I said, as I understand, you are American, and many of our viewers probably wonder how it is to prepare a student experience abroad. Could you tell us how you prepared and how Sciences Po helped you and your schoolmates from finding housing at Sciences Po to the process of integration?
Absolutely. So for me, the biggest part of this integration process was definitely the mental process of it. Coming from Boston, Massachusetts, obviously it's a distance to come from. We left behind our home, our friends, our family, and that's obviously not an easy thing to do. But as you become encrusted in the student body, as you make friends, as you become in associations and meet different people, you'll see that it's truly a beautiful experience to be a part of this experience on the Campus de Reims. As for Sciences Po administration and resources that they offer, they're with you every step of the way for integration. So you're never so far away from a helping hand. If you do struggle, never hesitate to reach out. For student housing, there's options from student accommodation to more classical apartments. I personally live in a student accommodation, and I really enjoy it, and it's everything I need and everything I want.
Thank you, Theodore. Watch your step on those stairs.
Thank you.
Theodore, I understand you are an active member of the Sports Association. Could you tell us about student activities on campus?
Of course, yes. So I'm part of the Sports Association, which is one of many, many associations or clubs on campus which offer activities to students. Earlier this year, for example, we organized the ski trip in the French Alps, which I had the pleasure of participating in. It was an unforgettable experience, which I had the pleasure of sharing with all the wonderful people that came along. This is just one of the associations which offer events, debates, conferences, and concerts such as this, and I'm sure you'll find them to be amazing. There's always something going on here on campus. What I recommend for you is the Champagne Tasting Club. As Reims is the city of Champagne, it'll be an awesome experience for you to taste the champagne from the champagne houses in Reims.
Thank you, Theodore. Now, apart from champagne, what do you like most about your student experience at Sciences Po?
It would easily have to be the rich diversity of all the students here on campus. Coming from Boston, I thought I was coming from a diverse area, but coming to Sciences Po Campus de Reims has been truly an eye-opening experience because people come from every corner of the world here. It's truly a melting pot of cultures and different types of people. So it's an amazing experience to come here and engage with all the different types of people. Everyone here has something different to offer, something unique.
Thank you, Theodore. Now, you just stepped in a beautiful room. Could you tell us exactly where you are on campus now?
So this is the old library located on campus. As you can see, it's magnificent, and it's got all a selection of different books here, classified up here with our different classifications, and students come here to study and prepare for their classes, and it's an amazing place to be able to study. It's a great opportunity to have.
Thank you so much, Theodore, for such an enlightening testimonial. Now back to studio. Dean Balme, I have another question for you about applicant's profile. Is there a typical Sciences Po applicant profile? What are the main qualities applicants are expected to have?
Thank you, Theodore, by the way. The quick answer, because I understand you want quick answers, so I would say there's no one single type of applicants to Sciences Po. We like to recruit individuals with their talents, and we look at them as potential talents. Therefore, we are looking for students who have their own specificity, who can show their own interest, who are genuinely who they are, and so I would say whether you prefer STEM and then you decide to start your BA studies in social sciences, you are more than welcome. If you are absolutely passionate about geopolitics and you don't like math, you also are very much welcome. So I would just say we recruit students who want to study, who love being surrounded by a challenging education, who want to challenge themselves, because studying at Sciences Po requires a lot of work and a lot of hard work. So that's what I would say. And I will add, students who love reading. We really enjoy people who love books.
Now, we understand that one way students can specialize themselves is the choice of second-year major. Could you tell us what those majors are?
Okay, so they have names in English and in French, and students will look at it, will find it probably interesting that it's usually there is an S added to the names of the major in French. So économie et société, I say it in French, will have an S, and it's economy and society in English. Then we have political humanities, and the last one is politics and government, ou politique et gouvernement en français. So these 6 disciplines that we just mentioned in the introduction of this session is divided into 3 majors as a combination of 2 times 3 disciplines.
You mentioned that principle of engagement at Sciences Po, and I understand the principle of engagement is quite a big deal.
Yes, it is.
At the Sciences Po Undergraduate College. Could you tell us what the civic learning program, which is an important component of the 3 years of the undergraduate degree, is? What is the civic learning program?
Well, Adrien, you say it's it's a compulsory dimension of the diploma. You know, even great students, if they don't perform the civic learning program, they won't be able to get a diploma from Sciences Po. So it's absolutely compulsory. So it's really very much the idea that we take the time and let the student think about which kind of, what are the domains, the areas they would like to really, they want to fight for, and they want to engage themselves in a given association, institution, and we ask them to do it at the same place where they live, in the very campus where they live during the first and second year. And it is a civic engagement in a way that it has to be non-partisan. It's not like joining a political party and trying to do a civic engagement program. It's very much the idea of going out of one's own comfort zone by fighting for, and usually what students do, they are very much engaged into environmental issues, gender issues, access to culture, to education, to music, to a lot of work with the refugees as well. So anything that, and we try our best to really support their engagement through a process. That's why it's called un parcours en français. So it's a pass during the 3 years of their studies with us.
That sounds fascinating. Thank you so much, Dean Balme. Now let's have a word with Tracy. Hello again, Tracy. Thank you for being with us. Tracy, you are a second-year student on our campus in Le Havre, in the northwest of France, by the sea. You are currently enrolled in our dual degree program with the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. And you are originally from Singapore. Thank you again for being with us. Dean Balme just mentioned the 3 majors that are offered on year 2. Could you tell us which major you chose and why you chose it?
So as Dean Balme said just now, I'm taking the major in economics and society. And for me, I was first drawn to it from the first year classes where I was really enjoyed economics and how we learned a lot about resource allocation and decision making that happens in both micro and macro levels, as well as sociology, which studies really the structures of society and human interactions. And really coming on to the second year, my interest has really grown because not only have I gotten a chance to study these disciplines in greater detail, but I've also been able to see how they interact with each other and how the market affects society or how the societal structures organize the market. So it's been a really rewarding experience.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Tracy. Now, you are originally from Singapore. Was French culture a shock when you first arrived, or is diversity actually part of what you enjoy at Sciences Po?
I think coming to France, there was definitely a big change. There's a new culture, a different kind of bureaucracy, and it's also a lot of, it's just so many different cultures. So it's not just about coming to France, but also coming to Sciences Po. As Theodore mentioned just now, when I walk in the hallway, sometimes I hear several different languages at the same time. And I think that's really been such a cool and such a valuable experience. Here in Le Havre, we got to celebrate both Chinese New Year and Diwali very recently. And it's also about a lot of cultural exchange that just happens between friends when you go to each other's houses and you share about your different experiences.
Now, as I said, you are doing our dual degree program with the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. Could you tell us why you chose to do a dual degree rather than a regular bachelor's degree, and what were the reasons for that choice?
I think for me, when I saw the dual degree, I was immediately very excited by it, because I think the two degrees that you have from this program are very different but very complementary. So at Sciences Po, I've gotten a chance to explore it's a very broad degree and it covers a lot of different disciplines. I've learned a lot about the key pillars of social science. And going to UBC, which I'll be doing next year, my degree will be more focused, more specialized. I'm intending to take a degree in urban studies, which has also been informed by my experiences here in Sciences Po. And beyond that, I think having this opportunity to study in two different countries, two different continents, unlocks new perspectives and new understandings of the world.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Tracy. Now, do you have a favorite class at Sciences Po?
I think it's hard to pick, but if I had to choose one, I'm currently taking a course on hydrogen and the geopolitics of hydrogen. So it's an exploratory seminar, and it's interdisciplinary, and it's focused on the green transition. So it really covers both public and private concerns in the markets. And I think sustainability is something that I'm very passionate about, and it's really very, very relevant today.
Now, Dean Balme told us about the civic learning program at Sciences Po. Can you present your civic learning program project at UNICEF, if I am right?
Yes. So the topic that I chose to develop in my civic learning journey was inequalities in education. So in my first year, I volunteered with a school in the disadvantaged community. And in my second year, I'm working with UNICEF, learning more about the mission of protecting children's rights, which I think is very, very intertwined with what I did in my first year. And we received training on UNICEF's mission, and we've also been conducting outreach at different schools. And I think it's something that's very meaningful, and it's also something that's gotten me to step out of my comfort zone by working in a French-speaking environment.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for such fruitful answers. Now back to studio with Dean Balme. We have talked about the Sciences Po Bachelor of Arts, and I understand Sciences Po also offers dual degree programs. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. So merci beaucoup, Tracy. So actually, Tracy is part of this double degree program that we have with Vancouver. UBC, we actually have the pleasure really to have established 9 international double degree programs with international great universities. Some in Europe. We're actually thinking of a 10th one. So next year there will be a 10th double degree program. I'm not going to say yet what it is, but it's a European university. So we have universities within Europe, with UCL in London, with the Freie in Berlin. We have a lot of universities in Northern America and in Asia Pacific. So 9 double degree programs, and they are, as you know, probably students who want to apply at Sciences Po know it's a 2 years here in France and 2 years with our partner university. So soon, Tracy, you will leave to Vancouver for 2 years, and after 2 years you will be able to complete your 4 years diploma at a BA level. But we also have double degree program with national universities, meaning French universities. And in this particular case, it's because we wanted really fully to develop deep, bachelor degrees in other disciplines covered by Sciences Po. And so these double degree programs within France, with French universities, they focus on either life sciences. They are called Bachelor of Arts and Science, and we really engage students to look carefully at these programs because they are great programs, absolutely. 3 located in Paris and 1 in Reims. And also we have established new DD at the national level with universities focusing on humanities and really truly like on literature and on philosophy. And this is it.
Thank you very much. A word on tuition fees at Sciences Po. How much does it cost to study at undergraduate level at Sciences Po?
Sure, it's a very important question. So basically the honest answer is to say it goes from €0, truly, to 14, a little bit plus thousand. That's for national and European students by the definition that European students are nationals. So if you are, someone holding a European nationality, then you can pay either from 0 to 14,000, depending on the revenues of your parents. And for international students, it's these 14,000, I forgot exactly, but maybe 14,500 euros approximately. Now, a very important figure that I would like to add is that in average, students at Sciences Po pay around 5,000 euros per year.
I see. Can students in need benefit from scholarships?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So we have been very serious this last, I would say, 10 to 15 years in social diversity at Sciences Po. But really these 2-3 last years, we really have decided to do even more, to do better. And our objective is to reach 30% of our cohort of students on scholarships. And we're about now at 27% of our cohorts are helped by either Sciences Po or partners universities in terms of scholarship. So there are scholarships, one being the Bourse Émile Boutmy, which has been named after the founder of the school. So definitely, yes, we do, and I think every student should try their best. So there are 2 types of scholarships, and it's normal and traditional in universities. It's not specific to Sciences Po. It's either based on your social environment and your capacity for parents to pay or not tuition fees, and or the academic excellency.
Now back to international issues. Something quite unique is the mandatory year abroad in third year. Where can students spend that third year abroad?
Very important question, and actually I just came back from Beirut in Lebanon, where we have 18 students located there. I think, Albert, you'd be interested to hear more about it. So the international network, that we have built, through the years, since 25 years actually, give the students the possibility of going to one of these 480 partners universities. So potentially students can go absolutely everywhere around the world where we have signed partnerships. I would just say, except that the world is not doing very well, and there are countries actually where it's no more possible for students to go. But it's on every continent we do have students. So mainly, I would say the majority in Europe and in Northern America. I would add plus Asia Pacific, now that China is reopening itself. But we also have students in the Middle East, around the Mediterranean, region, and that's why I just came back from Lebanon, and I had the pleasure to meet our students and to see what were their challenges, what they wanted to do, and so forth. So yes, the last and third year is abroad and can be around the world in many places.
That sounds great. Thank you, Dean Balme, again. Now let's hear from Albert, who is remotely with us. Hello again, Albert. Albert, you are a Sciences Po Paris School of International Affairs master's student on our Paris campus, and you graduated from the Sciences Po Bachelor of Arts on the Menton campus, the sunny city of Menton by the French Riviera. You are originally from Austria. Thank you for being with us. My first question is about the third year abroad that Dean Balme just talked about. Could you tell us where you spent your third year of bachelor abroad, and what were the benefits of that third year abroad?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I was lucky to receive my first choice, actually. I went to the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, and I had an amazing time. I can summarize the benefits of the third year abroad in 3 main points. First of all, the third year is the final year of the Sciences Po Bachelor that allows its students to utilize the multidisciplinary education that they had gained in their first and in their second year in a new academic, cultural, and often also professional environment. This has allowed me to greatly expand my horizon, both academically by taking a class in Farsi and in business, which are both social sciences, but also in terms of the new people that I interacted with and a completely new and different university system. Finally, the third year abroad is an indispensable experience when it comes to getting students used to adaptability. You learn how to adapt quickly to a new apartment, a new education system, and new people. And this is something I believe to be essential in today's rapidly changing world, as well as the jobs that Sciences Po graduates embark on.
Thank you so much, Albert. I understand you are a master's student, as I earlier said. Could you tell us which master you chose at PSIA, the Paris School of International Affairs, and what are the reasons you chose that master?
Yes, of course. I'm currently enrolled in the Master of International Governance and Diplomacy in the dual degree with Columbia University. The reasons why I chose this master is I believe to have gained a robust theory in the social sciences during my bachelor, hence pursuing a master's that is mostly taught by practitioners that teach you how to write policy memos or brief high-level leaders with concision was something that was very attractive to me. The master's also allows me to reconcile my passion for policymaking as well as diplomacy, which are the 2 backbones of the Master of International Governance and Diplomacy. And finally, I was drawn to the excellent faculty here at Sciences Po. The matter of fact that you are taught by former foreign ministers, a United Nations Special Envoy, and high-ranking officials from monetary and financial institutions was something truly extraordinary.
Thank you very much, Albert. Now, one last question. To sum up, what were the highlights of your Bachelor of Arts experience in both Menton and Edinburgh?
Yeah, the highlights of my experience was first being the Student Council main representative in Menton for both years. That was during the COVID-19 pandemic, where I assisted the administration with relaying information between the administration and the student body, identifying the students that are needed was something very rewarding. What was also rewarding was the parcours civique, an essential part of the bachelor program where I had memorable experiences in both my internships and was able to use the knowledge that I'd gained in the bachelor when I wrote my capstone project at the end and reflected on my field experiences. And finally, learning Farsi at the University of Edinburgh during my third year complemented my Mediterranean and Middle East concentration on the Menton campus.
Thank you so much, Albert, for all your answers. Now is the time for our Q&A session. Many of our viewers asked questions in the module of our YouTube live session. We're going to answer a few of those questions. Here is the first question from our viewers. Do we need to speak French to study at Sciences Po, or is English enough to study at Sciences Po?
So, here is the answer. Some campuses are francophone, so there is only a French track which is offered to the students. In this particular case, you better know a little French, otherwise it will be difficult for you. But if you choose an English track campus, whether it's in Reims or Le Havre or Menton, you don't have to, but we will ask you during the course of your study to learn some French. And this is because there is a philosophy at the BA that it's very important to learn the language of the country where you live. And so the same way as when you will go abroad for your third year, you will have to learn a little bit of the language of the place where you are posted during the third year. We ask you to learn French afterwards, but it's not a prerequisite to apply to an English track of the bachelor.
So we understand that you don't need to speak French to actually study at Sciences Po. Sciences Po offers full English tracks that you can apply to. I think that's the case for Theodore, Tracy, and Albert. The three of them are and did follow an undergraduate program in English, full English.
But I guess they also learned a little bit of French, did you? Yes.
I'm sure they did. Another question from our viewers: how do you get to choose your campus?
I mean, it's really based on your passion. It's based on passion. It's based on what you wanted to study, first of all. So are you interested in a particular comparative minor? And if it's the case, then choose the campus because of the choice of the heart. And then secondly, you might also want to choose a smaller campus, or in the country a bigger one, a campus closer to one particular border or closer to Paris. It really depends on your, family environment and on your personal, I would say, personal life. So first of all, academic first, you choose a campus based on your own intellectual interest. And then second set of questions, whether it's more practical, more accessible for financial reasons or, family purposes.
Theodore, maybe would you like to tell us how you did choose the Reims campus instead of another Sciences Po campus?
Yes, of course. So choosing the Reims campus for me was between the Reims or Menton campus. I have Lebanese roots, so Menton was initially very interesting to me. But having studied in America, I was deeply interested in all the topics that were offered in Reims. And so it was amazing to be able to now engage in all these topics that I've been learning for 4 years in high school and now continuing more in depth. So choosing the Reims campus wasn't so difficult for me, and I'm happy to have been accepted. So here I am.
Thank you, Theodore. Now, there's a third question directly linked to this idea of choosing a campus. A question from Zia. How much is the geographical minor important in the Sciences Po undergraduate studies?
It is important if you are located in a campus which offer a geographic minor, and it's the case for the 6 campuses outside of Paris. And it is important in a way that I would say it's about 20% of the content of your study. And it's divided along courses, elective courses, and on language courses, and languages which are not neither English nor French, but which are one of the languages of the region that you are focusing on. And also all the intellectual life of the campus. you know, organized through conferences and seminars and guests from this particular region to introduce you to the main themes of the region.
Thank you, Jean Balme. Now, this is our final question about pursuing graduate studies at Sciences Po. We have a question about after undergraduate studies, do students pursue a master's degree after their bachelor's degree? Are they assured to have a spot within a master's cohort?
Yeah, okay. So yes, it's very specific to Sciences Po. We offer the students a direct access to the master levels, to their studies at the master level, and 80 to 85% of our students continue at the MA level. So the question is, there is no direct selection between the BA and the MA level. Although the students, they have to basically give two choices, and they're guaranteed to have at least one of these two choices at the MA level.
So we understand that studying at Sciences Po is a 3-year, for most of our students, a 3-year bachelor's program followed by 2 years of master's graduate studies. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jean Balme. Thank you so much, Theodore, Albert, Tracy, for being with us today. Our information session is now coming to an end. Thank you for attending, and we hope that we were able to answer all the questions that you had about the Sciences Po Undergraduate College and undergraduate studies at Sciences Po. We hope to see you soon, again soon at Sciences Po. Thank you very much.
Super. Oui, c'était super. Merci. Merci Albert, Tracy. Ah bon.